We have, I think, every different walk of the world in our community. We have ranchers, we have cowboys, we have hippies, we have Mexicans. We're 12 miles from the border. It attracts special people. It also attracts ugly people. We are being targeted.
Those who would trade our freedom for the soup kitchen of the welfare state have told us they have a utopian solution of peace without victory.
Armed groups of men and women that are coming out here to fight the immigration on the border, but in their process, they are destroying communities. I'm Clara Godfrey. I'm from Arivaca, Arizona, and I'm fighting back against armed militia and vigilantes.
Arivaca, Arizona is a desert community of about 700 people on the US-Mexico border. But it has a reputation for attracting hundreds of armed anti-immigration extremists from across the country.
Armed and ready for action.
They're prepared to intercept or capture anyone crossing the border illegally.
Some are tied to white nationalist groups, others are gun rights advocates who deeply distrust the government.
Our way of life will be preserved and maintained, so help us God. Guns up!
And then there's those who fight undocumented immigration and Mexican cartel activity on the border.
Hi, this is Shauna Ford with Minutemen American Defense.
They call themselves militias, but others call them vigilantes, and some even call them murderers.
911, where's emergency? Ma'am, somebody just came in and shot my daughter and my husband. They shot them? What's your Arivaca, Arizona? Oh my God, I can't believe they killed my family.
A decade ago, dozens of militia groups patrolled the border near Arivaca. One of these groups was the Minutemen American Defense. On May 30th, 2009, they disguised themselves as Border Patrol and stormed a Mexican-American family's home in Arivaca, who they suspected of drug trafficking. The home invasion ended in double murder. Prosecutors proved the faction's leader, Shauna Ford, had ordered the invasion to rob the family in order to fund their militia.
They shot and killed the father and proceeded to put a gun to a 9-year-old little girl's head and point blank shot her in front of her mother. And a local young man was one of the trigger men. And that was my nephew, Albert Gaxiola.
What do you think about that 9-year-old guy?
Albert was radicalized by the militia to murder.
It was just a very heinous, evil act.
This rocked our community in a way that just was unbelievable. All of the people that had anything to do with this are serving prison terms. Shauna Ford has life on death row, Bush has life on death row, and Albert has a life-term sentence.
Following the 2009 murders, the Minutemen American Defense disbanded, and most border militias went underground, and some disappeared altogether.
There was an enormous amount of criminality associated with these groups that started to drive people out, and that really culminated with the Shauna Ford murders. This movement really peaked in 2009 when they had some 319 groups.
Since this horrific thing happened, the majority of the militia scattered like cucarachas when you turned the lights on. But now they're coming back.
When Donald Trump says that there are caravans of dangerous people belonging to MS-13 and all kinds of other scary things heading our way, he is ultimately giving permission to these groups to go to the border with their guns and create mayhem. They are running around the border like a bunch of cowboys with big guns. They want to be John Wayne saving America from the nasty invaders. You know, you get people like that running around your community and you are looking at trouble.
Every child and dope trafficking aid station is being destroyed.
Veterans on Patrol is one of the groups that operates near Arivaca. They destroy humanitarian water tanks for migrants crossing the desert, spread child sex trafficking conspiracies about the town.
If you like to traffic in children, these individuals have your back.
And have even threatened to wall the community off from the U.S.
We're here to notify you that we're building a wall around Arivaca. If you guys want to be with Mexico, you're more than welcome to.
First you have to get out there and find them, and you find where they're coming through. Then you put the cameras out, and these guys start popping up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6. These are also dope mules. You got a scout in the front, scout in the back, and see, he's wearing a camelback. They're starting to evolve.
This is Tim Foley. He's an Army veteran and construction worker who founded Arizona Border Recon in 2011.
2 years ago, I saw an RV being loaded up with marijuana, and when I called Border Patrol on that one, when they got to it, it had already 560 pounds of dope in it. If getting off the couch and doing something to help protect your country is extreme, then sure, call us extremists.
Foley insists Arizona Border Recon isn't a militia, but he claims to have apprehended drug smugglers and undocumented immigrants.
We are comprised of mostly military and law enforcement veterans. We monitor cartel activity on the border and report everything we come across to Border Patrol. We are protecting our country. We're watching what's happening on the border and what's coming through, acting as an extra set of eyes and ears for Border Patrol.
In 2015, leaked FBI recordings revealed Foley discussing plans to hijack a bus of Syrian refugees in Missoula, Montana, with a network of militia leaders across the country. The plan never materialized. Before that, Foley was accused of placing landmines on the border. He denies these accusations, but Foley's undeniably a magnet for militia activity.
And we're here in Arivaca. I got invited by Tim Foley of Arizona Border Recon. We're gonna go do some scouting to go see where the cartel's coming in.
His presence here attracts militias and patriot groups from around the U.S. In 2017, Foley came to Arivaca after a nearby community exiled him. And his arrival here has also been controversial.
Guess who's not welcome? The militia, Arizona Border Recon. Right across the street, we've got a bar. Door says unwanted, Arizona Border Recon, and specifically Tim Foley.
There's people in the community who like us, and then there's the side that don't like us. When we first moved here, they went around with flyers. They made flyers and tried to get businesses in town to not deal with us.
This is one of the 3 signs that goes on the corner. Part of our awareness movement is been making signs that say no militia, thank you. Or my sign has been stolen. Other signs have been run over several times. Tim Foley is part of the reason that we have so much militia. He's the feeder line that goes to the other ones. We as a community have the right to turn our back on something this ugly. And that's what many of the businesses and many of the people have chose to do with Veterans on Patrol, Utah Gun Exchange, Arizona Border Recon. The bar doesn't serve them, they're not allowed on the corner, and that's it. Ostracize them. That's our type of warfare. When people ask me why I'm doing this, this is why. I never want those murders, any kind of militia in our community, or anything like this to ever happen again. We need protection from these people who are supposedly here to protect us.
Arivaca is unincorporated. There's no police department, no town council, no mayor, and little legal recourse to counter militia activity.
Is this the militia meeting?
We have the Border Patrol. We have the Sheriff's Department. We've got ample protections. Why do we need? These are little boys.
Yes, exactly.
I was on Arivaca Road. They were coming into Arivaca and I thought it was a SWAT team. The militia are very imitating with their weapons and their vehicles, and they shouldn't be enforcing any type of law.
No militia in Arivaca.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We're looking at the mural at our local community center that was created in the memory of Briseña Flores. And this is part of our healing process, which has been slow and painful. There's always tears shed when you first look at it. Briseña was a child in our community. Junior was a young man in our community. They were a family in our community that we coexisted with. They forgot we were seeds. Well, since this tragedy, we have kept growing, and we will keep growing, and that's why we have to keep planting the seeds. So if we stay strong and aware on the militia, that's my prayer, that there's no death in our community, that there's nobody hurt in our community. I'm not going anywhere. Not today, not tomorrow, and my signs aren't going anywhere.